What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Alex and Lincoln
What is up, everybody? Happy to have you back with us.
in the booth. We've got Andrew on Esper Goryos against Ben on Cori Prowess. Both players are 2-0 here in round 3. Welcome back, everyone. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure to like and consider subscribing. Give us some of those Bezos bucks. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell icon, and set it to all so you don't miss out on content like this. Either way, though, make sure to hit up impactgamingcenter.gg for all of your Magic the Gathering and other tabletop gaming needs. I'm pretty sure if you see any card played here tonight in this match, you probably can get it over at impactgamingcenter.gg. All right, that being said, let's get into this match. All right, we got Andrew on Esper Goryos against a brand new Cori Prowess deck that Ben's always playing the cutting edge deck, dude.
Absolutely. Ben is one of the players that's always so much fun to deal with because you never know what he's going to be on. And I don't think he knows what he's going to be on until Friday at like 4 p.m., right?
Right.
It's always so much fun to play against. But Ben is also remarkable at communicating.
Oh, my God.
And that makes playing against and with him so much fun.
You know, me and Jake were talking last time we were in the booth together when he was on stream. And I was like, he's almost too good at communicating because he like almost gives too much information.
Right. Sometimes you're like, hey, stacking some of those triggers wasn't important to me. Resolve the stack.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like, you know.
So,
oh, there's Cori.
Yeah, so here's the namesake card of the deck, Cori Steelcutter. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, let's get it pulled up on Scryfall real quick for you. It is this breakout card from Dragonstorm, and it is really powerful. It essentially gets to create additional prowess monks, these monastery swift spears, gives them haste, and it is just a menace. It is one of those counter on-site cards if you play control.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to resolve it, and then he's going to throw out a bobble to activate that flurry, and he's going to go ahead and get in for 2.
Absolutely. Is this the best card from this set for Modern, you think?
I think it is a toss-up between that and the new Ugin. I think the new Ugin definitely was a lot scarier, but I think the Cori Steelcutter is going to be a lot more applicable in the in your average game.
Yeah.
Steelcutter is also going to make waves in the standard format, not just Modern. Now, real quick, Andrew was on Esper Goryos, which is such an interesting list. It's used to be this combo focus deck where you have to resolve a Goryos on a Gristlebrand or an Atraxa to win. Recently, and I don't know if Andrew's playing them, but I saw some Ketramoses in the list, some Psychic Frogs. That's really...
It's much more of a grindy kind of...
It's this
kind of build, yeah.
Absolutely, and it's just a really great way to pivot these combo decks into being able to do more than just have to execute their combo.
Sorry, I'm doing some things on the back end here. All right, there we go. That way when we transition, it's correct. All righty. I can't hear them. There we go.
All right, Tainted Indulgence. So,
yeah.
Andrew, looking at some really decent cards right now. Alex, I can't quite tell if he has a really... I don't guess he doesn't. I'm looking for Andrew's graveyard.
Yeah, it doesn't look like... Oh, is he... He might have it, like, way off.
He does. It looks like his graveyard is off to the left.
Making it hard on us.
There we go. Okay, so he does have an Atraxa in the bin. That is a big deal.
There we go.
Just a little bit better than
try and get in tight as I can. All right, there we go. Yeah.
Turns out the graveyard is a really important zone.
Super relevant. Oh,
there it is.
Speak of the devil.
And he might be doing the thing.
He's doing the thing.
Turn 3. Ben, kind of powerless, but you just watch this happen.
Yeah. If you're sitting in Ben seat, you hate to see this happen at this
Absolutely.
point. So early in the game, too. This is brutal.
All right, so Ben has one saving grace here, which is Andrew did not hit a lot of diversity in his card types.
Yeah. A lot of instance. Tons of instance.
Right.
But...
Even so, it still doesn't make seeing this Atraxa good. But you see what else is crazy there in Andrew's hand is he is holding an Ephemerate right now. This Atraxa is not going to go
Let's do it again.
So this is going to go crazy for Andrew. He's doing exactly what he wants.
Yeah, Ephemerate with all these ETB style cards are just It's so powerful.
Absolutely.
Random order.
You got Jake playing his Death and Taxes list with Ephemerates, bouncing all the Corgi and all that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
card's good. Ephemerate is a very powerful card.
My
Up to
goodness.
21.
Life total's impossible to keep track of with
Yeah.
all these life linking and craziness going on.
Basically,
But here's the
flip-flop
ephemerate.
life totals.
Yeah, yeah. Here comes the ephemerate. We're doing it again.
Yeah, that's
If I'm Ben, this is where I start asking, when can I get off this ride?
dinosaur wall.
Right? Sweet monk token.
So once again, Ben kind of thrilled to see a lack of diversity in Andrew's cards here. This time Andrew sees a lot of lands in only one instant.
And this is game one, so obviously, Ben might, if this is the kind of nail in the coffin here, he will have game 2 and 3 to rebound.
Absolutely. And it definitely feels like Andrew's deck just played at the top end right now.
Oh yeah.
It turned 3, resolved the Goryos, and followed it up with an ephemerate. That is kind of picture perfect how you want this to execute.
Absolutely. And I assume if Andrew's gone more towards the Ketramos side of things, it's not all in as it used to be.
Right.
But this is certainly, yeah, peak Goryos here.
Absolutely.
You have to start.
Discarding to hand size after Andrew just drew, I think that was 6 cards off the Atraxa.
Must be nice.
Yeah. Good problems to have.
And Andrew playing face up with the cards that Ben knows.
All right, Ben, let's see what you got. How do we get out of this?
Yeah.
And to be honest, it is I hate to call a game before it is over.
Yeah.
And yet
you
this
never like to.
Atraxa has lifelink on it, and that is going to be
Insane.
it's going to be really hard to overcome. And I'm very familiar with Ben's list because I joined you from the booth after Ben knocked me out. So I don't think Ben is mainboarding any ways to deal with this.
Oof.
7/7, no biggie, but 7/7 with lifelink gets very awkward.
Yeah, you can't. It's really hard to race.
Shout out to those Bikini Bottom Mountains.
Nice. Sure, he's got the bikini bottom, or rather the counter spells with the meme.
Yeah. So Ben maybe found the only way around this Atraxa, and it's hard to say, especially since Andrew just drew so many cards. But another Cori Steelcutter might be the best way to just go wide and make this board as big as possible. Seems like
It's just gonna be so hard to
right.
race that lifelink from a 7-power creature.
And the Atraxa has vigilance as well, so he's gonna gain 7 life.
Yeah, on the
anytime he
crack
attacks,
bat,
too.
yeah.
So I don't know that it's doable, but that might be his best bet.
So I will be passing to you.
Ben passing back.
You have the memory.
Who would choose to cast that?
No, I think.
Oh,
he's
he didn't.
gonna-
He didn't.
Yeah, I think he wants to just start.
Yeah, he's like, I'm pretty good now.
He just wants to start playing combat with Atraxa now. Yep, there it goes. Bonk. Right, so
28.
it's a long shot, but there is, in theory, right, Andrew's got a big hand. But there is one small window here. And maybe, but he's looking at 2 solitudes in the hand.
Yeah, Andrew's kind of got this one wrapped up, I think. I mean, what would Ben even feasibly have? Like, I'm just trying to think of cards he could
Yeah.
have in his deck. Like, Path to Exile really doesn't see too much play anymore.
Right, and I don't think Ben's got white in his list. I think Unholy Heat is the card he's going to need, where he's going to have to hit the Atraxa with one of the monks and then finish it off with an Unholy Heat. But Ben
Hate
is
to do
playing
that.
Heats in the sideboard, not
Oh,
the
wow.
main. So I really don't even know that he's gotten out there.
6 damage, 1 mana, not good enough. Sorry. Down to 2.
Yeah. Gonna have to shock that steam vent.
I have. Yep. I always kind of keep.
I mean,
But no delirium yet for Ben, even if he does have a heat.
this Esper deck just making Corey Steelcutter kind of look like a little bit of a chomp right now.
It is, and if you are looking at Cori Steelcutter, wait until games 2, and then we'll plug that you buy it at Impact.
We do have some. We do have some.
I have.
So, I do want to take a moment and
Surveil, yeah, he's the Darcy.
think that if Andrew did not have a really powerful start here, Ben with double Cori plus a lava dart, Ben
Ben
could
would
be
be
swinging
running
for-
wild right now.
Right. This game could have realistically looked very, very
Yeah.
different than it does right now.
Gonna block with the Atraxa.
Because they have. Yes. Yeah. They're 2/2
Yeah.
from the.
Steelcutter on its own gives +1/+1. So while those monks have not seen a prowess trigger yet, they still get to be 2/2s with all the rest of the monks. Pump the frog.
Yep.
I also have. Your Atraxa.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, blocking with the Atraxa is always kind of a little bit of a liability. Because Ben could always just light it up.
Right. And that's going to be his, yeah, that is going to be his.
Open a shop up in your neck of the woods? Where are you from?
Yeah, where is your neck of the woods?
Yeah. Is it in the greater St. Louis area? Because maybe. Yeah, you should order them from impactgamingcenter.gg.
Over to Pittsburgh. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I tell you what, we will think about it. We'll give it a hearty thought.
Maybe one day, though.
So there is the pitch cast Solitude on the monk, and that's a lot of where Andrew feels confident blocking with the Atraxas, that Ben absolutely can try and light it up, but knowing that he has the safety of Solitude to clear the bonus damage that Ben is
Yeah.
surely counting on from the token. And sure enough, it's going to cost Andrew the 7 lifelink damage, but I don't know that he needs it.
These will be.
Hop, skip, and a long drive.
These are the same. These are the same. These are the same. So they're currently 2/2s. Six.
Gotta love the prowess math.
Yep.
12.
Now, Ben could always flash back that lava dart for another prowess trigger. And I know I've said this before, but this is kind of his best opportunity, his only real window before the Atraxa just keeps coming in for more. And the Solitude targeting the monk does mean that Andrew is going to be missing 7 potential lifelink that he was going to get off that monk.
Okay. I'm gonna respond to your solid.
And this
Yeah.
might be...
Insane. He's gonna respond. Dart.
Yep, there it goes.
You.
Dart you.
All right, go to face.
So that prowess trigger is all.
So 26 currently, I heard Andrew say.
Yeah. Should be 27, though. Dart only does 1 damage.
Only one Clarion in stock. Well, you could get that one.
That is true.
I mean, you'd be one away.
The first dart was done. The second dart.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah. So this prowess trigger is still in the stack. So we haven't resolved.
Yes, there's one more prowess.
Yeah. So I'm still responding because that's responding to it.
All right, so here's the over communication we talked about a moment ago. I don't know if we got clarity or more lost.
And I guess I have these triggers too.
Yeah,
I have these triggers over here too.
yeah. Not too worried about surveillance.
The Darcy triggers, yeah.
Underneath the solitude. So we'll resolve the solitude. So I aim for 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 because it hasn't.
Yeah, we'll just say it's 4. That sounds fine.
6. This is solitude.
It has been solituded.
They haven't corrected Andrew's life total yet either. He should be at 26. Because it says 26 there, but it says 27 on the phone.
Right.
So
Okay, Violent Urge is going to be really good for double strike.
So it has +1/+0 and so these are 5s.
Can we deal 26 damage?
So this is 10 on its own, and that's 10. So that's 20. Yeah. So not lethal, but
not lethal.
But keep in mind,
Unfortunately, not lethal's
And then they trade
pretty rough here.
keep
for
in
Ben.
mind, it is not lethal because Andrew has gained 14 life off of this Atraxa.
Yeah.
So being not lethal is still a pretty impressive amount of damage that he's putting through.
Dude, this guy's going straight up Super Saiyan on this card.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Ben is going to scoop it up.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, you know,
basically had to try to kill you there.
sometimes you're the Atraxa, sometimes you're the face that
Atraxed.
it gets, yeah, that it gets smacked into. Alrighty. Kicking it back to the booth.
Well, this is a really interesting matchup here because Ben's sideboard is
Can we get a bin trigger counter?
yeah.
That's
That
awesome.
would be a lot of fun. This sideboard is going to be really interesting for Ben. He's got access to the Spell Pierce, and that might be the only card in the sideboard that Ben really loves in this matchup. I don't know that Ben is running much graveyard hate either. And I kind of have the same to say for Andrew.
Yeah, well, looks like Ben's got, or Andrew rather, has several cards he's bringing in.
This is his main board he's trimming.
Well, if he's taking them.
Oh, good point. Good point.
I assume if he's taking
good
them.
point. Yeah,
I mean, he
no,
might be
that's on
doing
me.
the old okey doke.
Yeah.
Take all 15 in, all 15 out.
Yeah.
And then you actually didn't sideboard at all.
Okay, he opts for a consign. Interesting.
How can you? I can't. Okay.
I got good eyeballs. I got terrible
I was
eyeballs. That's what I
gonna
have
say.
glasses for, man. Holy cow. I can't drive without these things.
Consign. Okay, I can see the consigns. But, yeah.
Looking like a pretty diverse sideboard for Andrew. I'm seeing a whole bunch of one-ofs, and that's always an interesting way to run sideboards.
Could, take a drink every time Ben says trigger
I want to make it home tonight.
off your liquid death.
Yeah.
Am I,
Smart
smart
water.
water? But yeah, let's we got this camera. We got some other things we can look at as these guys sideboard. Looks like
The
kinda
back of Andrew's head.
starting to thin out. We've got those tabletop players gone. Commander's still running strong. We probably how many Commander players you think we have here?
We usually get 25 to 35-ish most nights. It's kind of crazy. We see
Yeah.
a lot of tables of 4. I see people setting up tables of 5 and 6, which if you've ever played in a commander pot of more
It's
than 4,
atrocious.
it's horrible.
It's
I
the
don't know.
worst thing on the planet.
Don't know why people do that, but hey, teach their own.
To each their own.
I like playing Magic, not coloring and scrolling on my phone while other people play Magic.
Yeah.
But here I am in the booth talking while other people play Magic, so maybe I should shut up.
'Cause, yeah, you
All right, these guys look like they're about ready, so let's kick it back down to the battlefield.
very easy to
And they moved the.
They sure
They
did it
moved-
too.
they
Yeah,
moved
move that camera, Alex. Do the thing. Yeah. Andrew better keep his graveyard in view, or I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to go
right?
out there and tell him off. Now,
Issue some Stone Cold Stunners for everyone.
Yeah. Now, jokes aside, Andrew and Ben are both frequents of the store, and they are
Oh, yeah.
fantastic people. They
Oh,
are just
yeah.
great players, and that's one of the things that I really love to see is good players and good people at the same time. It's really, really nice. It's one of my favorite things about the Impact Store. It's just the game culture is really good. The players are fantastic, really helpful for new players. It's if you're looking to learn to play Magic and come to a place to get familiar with it,
And get better.
yes, Impact is the place.
Yeah. Only way to get better at Magic is play a ton of Magic with people who are better than you.
Yep. Oh, and there we go. Ben with the we have a multi 6.
Yep.
Andrew's making some sweet eye contact with you there. Shuffling up.
I feel like it's been asked, but if you guys play Commander yourselves, I do play Commander. I have Lathra Blade of Elves right now, and that's a divisive Commander, which I used to play Grand Arbiter Augustine, and that was a
Oh,
divisive commander.
That is a divisive commander, but I gotta say I am similarly a bad person. I was a Bruvek the Grandiloquent player. Yeah.
Oh,
I said take your library and
nasty
turn it
boy.
upside down.
Absolutely. Thinking of doing Burn with Cori Steelcutter in it. Could be interesting.
Strongly recommend. If you want, I saw a video on that of some popular brewers and creators on the old YouTube doing exactly that. So you might want to check those out and see if you can help figure them out. But Corey Steelcutter is a really great way for Burn to still go wide and get a little bit more consistency in the mid to late game.
Azeka Super Friends. Oh, nice. I like it.
Super Friends is a good way to play Modern. I'm sorry, Commander.
Yeah, I mean, I love Planeswalkers. I
Mhm.
kind of dislike that Wizards turned away from having so many Planeswalkers, and now they focus on only legendary. Like, we get 80 legendaries, but only get one Planeswalker each
Right.
set. It's like, okay. But that's kind of how the culture is now. That Commander's really popular, so.
So just Ben has once again resolved well, I'm sorry, not resolved, cast a Steel
Cast.
Cutter on turn 2. But
Andrew's-
Andrew has opted to force it, which is what you do. You got to do it.
Pitching Tainted Indulgence. Surveil from
Turn.
the Darcy.
I'll not track it. I will attack for 1. Ooh.
Ooh, says Ben. 16, 18, it looks like.
18.
Oh, he's fetching. Yeah.
That'll do it.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
Now, Corey Steel Cutter is another one of those. I'm going to call it a format warping card, but I know that that's a little bit wrong to say because it's not truly format warping, but it is resulting in the Demir players moving back to 3 copies of Spell Snare after we had just trimmed down to 2. You know, we played 2 copies of Spell Snare for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
And
That's why the foils are $30 a piece.
Yep. It's forcing players to bring the force negations back and just make sure that they can answer that card. So it's I know that format warping is a little bit extreme to say, but it is having a really big impact. But you know what?
Impact? I see what
Yeah,
you're
hey,
doing.
absolutely.
Hey.
Subtle plug.
Yes, sir.
Call that subliminal messaging.
Yes.
But I love when standard sets print cards that are truly impactful in other formats. I think it's very important that formats don't stagnate.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it is also important that not all of the good cards come from Horizon sets.
Absolutely right.
Because otherwise you're just playing Horizons.
Modern Horizons Tribal, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, what are we doing here? This is just like
Absolutely.
expensive standard at a certain point.
True. And there's all the jokes about Modern rotating and
Oh, yeah.
I
Blood Moon. Oh, baby.
Yeah, oh goodness, that's a big Blood Moon. Fetch and
Yeah.
response. You got to do it, Andrew. Fetch and response. Yep,
Gotta
do the
do
thing.
it.
Do the thing. Go find that basic. It's got to be either a plains or an island.
He did the thing. All right, down to 17. Gonna get probably a basic, I'd imagine. Yep, Swamp. So he is cut off from blue mana currently.
Thinner smash it.
Expensive standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Just verbally saying
at a certain point, if they don't stop doing Horizon sets, that is what it's going to become.
Yes.
It might not necessarily be true yet, but it will be.
Now, I have to say, I have a very controversial opinion. on-
Uh-oh, let's hear it.
Modern Horizons.
Light the internet on fire,
Yep.
brother.
So I think that Modern Horizons, it does kind of cause it to rotate, and that is bad. That's bad. That's kind of unhealthy for Modern, especially when you have a format that's so expensive, right? People pay, $1,000 for a deck to build this thing, and then all of a sudden it is no longer viable in the meta, and that
Yeah.
feels really bad. At the same time, I
Uh-oh.
think you have to shake up the meta. It cannot stay stagnant, or no one wants to play it anymore.
I agree, but I think you could do that with bans, right?
I
Or
think
unbans. Hey, there's been a lot of I talk a lot of smack on Wizards of the Coast, rightfully so.
right, yeah.
But I gotta give a little tip of the cap to him for unbanning so many cards
Yes.
recently. Not only from Modern, but obviously Commander just got some really important and good unbans from Commander. So shout out to Wizards.
Absolutely right. And that's kind of what I mean, that while MH3 feels really format warping and kind of makes it expensive standard, let's look at the two 2-0 decks we have at the table right now. We saw, was it 0 MH3 cards last game? We saw a Psychic Frog. One Psychic Frog hit the table and was very inconsequential. It was a blocker. And we saw Solitude that kind
from
of
MH2,
mattered, but
yeah.
wasn't super important. But I think that Modern Horizons...
Isn't Darcy from Modern Horizons 1, though?
Modern Horizons 2, I
Two?
believe.
Okay, 2, yeah, I think.
Was also an inconsequential card
In that game.
in that game. So I think that it's always going to shake up the format, but I think sometimes it's necessary. Now, that said, you do make a great point. The Green Sun Zenith and all that.
Do you have to do it every other year, though?
No, please stop. Once every 4 years, right? No, please.
I think Modern Horizons 1 was a perfect balance of having cards that would impact the meta that also just didn't create a new meta game.
Right.
So, I don't know. Old man yells at clouds. Anyways, Ben is going to crash in here. Speaking of Cori, Steel Cutter.
And there is a Solitude trying to buy back his health. But this is kind of what we were talking about. Ben had 2 Cori Steel Cutters, one of which got forced, and the second is resolved, and Andrew is still playing on the back foot. He's really doing his best.
I mean, this Blood Moon is definitely doing some heavy lifting.
Absolutely. Yeah, Andrew has got a swamp and 3 mountains.
Yeah.
And I believe Andrew has a Goryo's in hand, and yet he doesn't have anything super scary in the bin.
Yep. That Atraxa is exiled, folks. So it is not in the graveyard.
Hogak, Unbanned, or Riot.
No.
I will meet you with Deathrite Shaman.
I think I don't know. I was excited when Jace the Mind Sculptor got unbanned. So, and now that
Absolutely.
card's just like fine.
Now, Andrew gonna scoop it up.
Yeah.
And
so-
yeah, that's kind of what you'll do here. Yeah, I have to say, I think it's really eye-opening to see these cards get unbanned and then barely matter.
Yeah.
Preordain, I think,
Well,
is the card that got unbanned. It's mattered the most,
mattered
other
the
than
most,
Mox
yeah.
Opal, of course. It's been a very impactful.
Mox Opal got Underworld Breach banned.
Yeah.
It's funny how Mox Opal, it's like the meme where they're pointing to the other guy. It's like it's all his fault. It's always Mox Opal's fault, folks.
Yeah.
Mox Opal in its history of Modern has gotten so many other cards banned. KCI, I'm
Yeah.
looking at you. But yeah,
And
Mox Opal's
So-
such a busted card. I love it, and I love that it's in the format because Lantern Control's viable again.
thank you. Hey, all
The,
you can make good.
we're
things
Lantern
out of
lovers.
Any
both
mess,
of
right?
us.
Yeah, you can take any terrible scenario and just try and do something good with it. I think that's what matters. And if Mox Opal gets unbanned and what you do is build Lantern, that's how you make the best of a bad situation.
Absolutely.
Now, my personal opinion here is that fast mana is the problem. I think fast mana in any format should not exist. If I were to be given the keys to the castle for WotC, I would ban fast mana. That would be what I do. I think if you want mana, you have to pay for it. You can rampant growth. You can pay mana to ramp. But I think Mox Ambers, Mox Opals, you're all getting banned. Fast mana will
Mox
no longer...
Amber too?
Yeah, fast mana. I think fast mana is a way that breaks the game. And the real problem that I think it causes,
What about free spells?
free spells, I honestly don't hate because you have to pitch other cards for them. Mox Opal is like, in decks that you build it, it's like another land. You know, you get a free land drop. That's just kind of crazy. I think that what I'm really worried about is the way that Andrew's, I think he's going to have to mull.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's gonna
I don't
mull or
think
flip
he's-
the table.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
didn't
what
see
that
any,
was.
I didn't see any lands in that hand, but I think what happens with those cards like Mox Opal is they define the rest of your design decisions because you have to be careful not to accidentally break something because of how strong
Yeah,
that card is.
I think WotC just does whatever they want now, though. Like I think
Valid.
I think they're like, if we need to, we'll ban something,
Yeah,
which I appreciate. I think bans are a normal part of a card game, and unlike infusing 300 new cards that are built for Modern, bans are a pretty normal way to shake up the metagame.
right. Absolutely.
But
Shout out to
mean-
unbanning Splinter Twin and then having it suck in every way it's
Do
played.
absolutely nothing. Oh,
Oh
baby.
no, I am seeing 3 frogs in Andrew's hand.
It's a lot of frogs. That's a frog invasion, maybe.
That is not what you want to see. Plague of frogs on the
What do you call a group of frogs? Somebody look that up real quick.
a mulligan. That's what I'm
That's what you
calling
call it.
Yeah, Andrew's going to 5.
Oh my god, a mulligan. That was good. Yeah. So Andrew going to 5. Ben looking like he's sticking with 6. So hopefully he'll have a.
Really good program.
I really want frog too.
Don't need full.
That was quick.
I'm not seeing lands. Oh, he
Says
found 2.
keeping.
Those last 2 were lands.
Alrighty.
Good
Gotta
on
put
ya,
2
good
of these
on ya.
back though. All right, here we go.
Go ahead and put the lands back. It'll be all right.
Don't need those. Andrew gonna be on the play here.
So this is the part that's going to be really interesting for Andrew, which is I think I'm seeing a spell snare in his hand and a psychic frog and 2 lands. Well, you don't really want to run out the frog because you really need to snare that Cori Steelcutter as we've seen.
A group of frogs is an army. Is it? Is it actually? I feel like I'm being trolled. Anyways, Ben gonna take his first turn of the game.
DRC.
Oh wow,
For real?
that's awesome. Actually,
That is really cool.
best hot take here. Best hollowed fountain art, the one that Andrew has in play right now. I love that
I
art.
can respect that.
I love that art. It came, and he's just gonna run out the frog, but it came on, not Arena, Magic Online.
Yeah.
The art came up first, and then they finally printed it in paper. I'm so stoked.
Shout out to Andrew for fetching smart. He does not want to get caught by the Blood Moon.
Yeah. Cutter trigger. Little surveil action here for Ben. Likes it. Gonna keep it on top.
Yeah, and there's the steel cutter.
You also thought you were being trolled. That's awesome though. An army of frogs.
Attacking the frog.
I'm gonna have to start using it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going in the repertoire when I commentate frog matchups. Yeah, oh, that's true. That's very true. Google being dominated by increasingly incorrect AI answers doesn't help. Yeah, the fact that the AI overviews at the top of every Google search I use is really annoying,
I am going to love that when it is good in 20 years.
right?
So help me out. That is a spell snare in Andrew's hand, yeah? That is what that is? That blue card is? Yeah,
Yes, that's
okay.
for sure a spell.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say Andrew might have gotten a little bit punished there by throwing the frog out right
frog,
away
yeah.
and allowing Ben to get the steel cutter. And that was kind of the decision I was talking about. But Andrew's still going to make good on that spell snare with the expressive iteration. The problem is that is still a cast spell, even though it got countered. So his ability to trigger the flurry on the steel cutter and start swinging is here. Now, Andrew has an Atraxa in hand. He can feed the Atraxa to the frog to put it in the bin, so we could very well be looking at a top deck of Goryos, and all of a sudden this game looks a world different.
Yeah, frog in this deck is so good.
It is.
Resolve.
Are we sure Andrew's playing Catrimos though?
I guarantee it. I walked up to him and I made him show me his list to make sure, because I swore I thought I saw him in there. He was in the game next to me when me and Ben were playing,
I gotcha.
and I knew I saw a Ketrimos.
You got the insider info.
Yeah. I didn't totally believe my eyes, so I made him flip through the deck until I saw one. There definitely is one in there.
Oh, I know why they're. So we did get a new tablet donated by Paul,
Yes,
one of
sir.
our regulars,
Yep.
and I guess they didn't know how to unlock it.
That is hilarious.
That's why we're using Ben's phone, I think.
And that is what we call technical difficulties, folks.
You know, it happens.
So, really, really important to note here, Ben did not have a follow-up with that Cori Steelcutter. and I cannot stress how important that is.
Yeah.
That I don't know exactly what's in Ben's hand, but he's holding 3 cards in a deck loaded with 1-drops, and he did not have one to follow that expressive iteration that got countered. That is a really good sign for Andrew here that he can start making good on this frog, start drawing infinity billion cards, dig for that Goryo's, and he might be able to make it happen. Big surveil.
Keeping on top.
He likes it.
Oh,
No, he doesn't.
yeah.
No, he doesn't. My bad.
Nope.
All right, let's draw some cards. Goryo's is what he needs to see. That's a polluted delta.
Yeah, not quite the same. Frog in there. Gonna poke you. Love and Ketramos and EDH, but I still don't enjoy how it plays in Modern. Speak of the devil, is that what he drew? I can't tell. He's these Magic players and they're flicking their cards all around. Somebody in the YouTube comments will for sure say something to the effect of, "I can't believe these guys flick their cards so much."
Yeah. But
Welcome to competitive Magic, bro.
one of these days, I'm gonna start making these players wear GoPros, and we are
that
gonna
would
have
be
them. Yeah,
insane.
then we're gonna do like they do with those League of Legends pros, and we're gonna make you pay for a pro view.
Yeah.
You get to watch Ben play all day. In response to the Blood Moon, we are fetching a polluted delta. My goodness. So at least it's better for Andrew this time because he can establish 2 colors.
We're gonna go now down to the bin cam.
Yeah.
See a POV of what he's seeing. All right.
Oh, wait. Did he just fetch a planes off of a polluted delta?
Did he?
I think that's what just happened.
That's illegal.
Stop them.
We won. All right. Lincoln's gonna go holler at him and try and correct that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, says Andrew.
We got him.
Oh, the
We
human
got him.
boys, we got him. I'm sure it was a harmless mistake,
Absolutely.
but can't do that, unfortunately, for Andrew.
And that is one of those things that's really an easy mistake to make because what happens
Get
with,
'em.
yeah, what happens with these cards as you read them is that you kind of simplify them because there's so many words to help you understand what the intent of this card does. And what
Yeah.
fetch lands read is fix my mana.
Fix my mana.
And,
Help me. Help me.
And turns out it doesn't do exactly that. So yeah, it's gonna be a
Oh
moment.
my God. Speak of the devil, here's Blood Moon.
Yeah.
So it matters, folks. It matters.
And here is
That is a Blood Moon. That is from the Secret Lair, I don't Gold Edition. I have no idea, but it's a wild looking Blood Moon. I think Ben's the only person on the planet that plays that one,
Yeah.
and I love him for it because it's so sick. It looks like a constellation on like a tablet. Not like an iPad, but like a tablet, like an ancient tablet.
Now, Tempered Conflagrant says, shame him. He wants us to cast Stern Scolding on Andrew.
So it is not hilarious, so I will gain 1.
Yeah, we're going to Solitude the DRC. Pitching the Atraxa.
Yeah, surveillance.
Well-
And keep in mind, Andrew also has a Gristlebrand in hand, so he doesn't really need the Atraxa to go crazy if he finds a Goryo's off the top.
And then Dark Robin.
All right.
And you know, I gotta say, after how fast Game 1 and Game 2
This is
was,
a
Game 3 we're taking our sweet
slugfest,
time.
yeah.
We are taking our sweet time. We're
And
drawing
this-
some cards, we're playing some spells.
This time around, Andrew has 2 colors of his mana, so it is a little bit of a different ball game here.
Mm-hmm.
Has access to blue and black. Still doesn't have access to white, but I would kind of argue that's the 3rd color he's
Mhm.
playing here.
But Andrew has access to Gristlebrand in the graveyard. All he needs is to find something to draw. Ben's hand must not be hot. To be holding 2 cards and to swing and pass, that is gotta be
Yeah.
tough. So I'm not sure what's going on, but right now Andrew is holding an ephemerate. And every single draw here, you know Ben is scared. You don't know what Andrew's going to draw, but it could be really, really bad.
There's an Atraxa. The Atraxa land Gristlebrand? Is
I
that?
think it's ephemerate.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's the Strixhaven Mystical Archives ephemerate.
Gotcha.
All right, so DRC is going to resemble a blocker for a turn on this frog.
Move over.
For shame.
Yeah, Pokemon wasn't sample ace, so I should have done that back. But didn't. Okay.
And back to Andrew. Another ephemerate, maybe? Not what he's looking for. Can't cast
tell you
ephemerate
what, it's
currently.
not what
That's
he wants.
unfortunate. He super needs white if he wants to ever cast those ephemerates.
Really strange.
I mean, what he really needs is Gorgios here.
Right, yeah.
Because then it's easy.
Why do we all flick through our cards like that? It is because we are hoping they will change. You are hoping your cards will be different when you get back around to where you started. They never do. All right.
Because Brian Kibler taught us to do it.
Yes. Yes.
And we all want to be as good as Brian Kibler one day.
So Andrew's actually in a pretty funny spot here where both players have kind of been drawing garbage, but what Andrew can do is he can just vomit his entire hand into this frog, and all of a sudden he's lethal. So,
What?
yeah, he's got all these useless cards, but useless cards for him still have some use. He's going to opt to pitch 2 because he didn't have quite enough. He would have been 1 short of lethal.
Tainted Indulgence. I believe that's what that was. He can cast
It
that.
is castable, and if I'm Andrew, I am going to go ahead and cast it. I just have to hope I find a Goryo's off of it. Can't follow it up, unfortunately, because of all those mountains that Andrew's deck doesn't use.
Have you ever watched professional Yu-Gi-Oh players? Magic fidgeting is low level. I haven't. Well, do they go crazy and like da 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 da?
Yu-Gi-Oh players are a interesting group. It's a really interesting.
Watch yourself.
I'm being careful. I'm actually in the same boat there. I played Yu-Gi-Oh before I played Magic, and I really enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh. It was a very, very fun game, but I do think it changed dramatically over the past, and it was a long time ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. The game just dramatically changed, and I had a really hard
Not to
time.
send the casters.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think my experience with Yu-Gi-Oh was really similar to a lot of players' experience with the modern Horizon sets, where the game suddenly changed dramatically and it was just hard for him to keep up for one reason or another. And that was kind of my experience with Yu-Gi-Oh. It's a really interesting game. It just plays differently than the way that that I wanted Yu-Gi-Oh to feel and the way that I grew up with it.
It's fair.
There we go. Hopefully my take didn't end up being as hot as it started sounding. All right, we're going for it. We're going to try lethal here. We're going to dart. We're going to
Hey,
set.
yo.
We're going to dart. Trigger, 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 trigger.
I played Yu-Gi-Oh when I was like 11.
Yeah.
Like Legend of Blue Eyes.
Yeah. Good
Metal
stuff.
Raiders.
Good stuff.
You know, OG stuff.
I think
It's a 2. Because that's 2.
if we want to count total power, it's 2 to 3, and this is
What you trying to say, punk?
Yeah.
They're gonna swing on you through the internet.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling it. Maybe we shouldn't advertise
heat.
that we're in the wonderful Fairview Heights. That's
The fabulous, the sensational.
mm-hmm. He's sacking mountains. He's flashing back lava darts.
trigger here.
We're triggering. Where is the Ben triggers counter when you need it?
So
Yeah, Andrew.
Oh.
Yep, that is in fact the Ketramos right there in the middle. That
There it
middle
is.
card.
There's the pest control.
Well,
Gonna cast it.
yeah, we're gonna scoop it up there for Andrew.
Yeah, that's going.
Goryo's just a little deeper.
That's pretty deep. Come on.
Yeah. Well, with the Floggy on the table.
Alrighty, folks. There you have it. Ben gonna get there.
Good stuff. What a fantastic showing of these cards.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you are watching live, don't go anywhere. We've got one more round of modern action, so stay tuned as it whips on.
I see a lot. Yeah.
I mean, hey, But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Upper body. Can we do that? I don't know. There we go. Nope. It just is
Me
pull
and
it. Look at
Hobbs
that.
had the
Look at
same
that.
problem in
Hey.
the booth last week. It really, really liked you.
There we go. And there's no tracking, or at least it shouldn't. There we go. But yeah, thank you all so much. Make sure to hit up ImpactGamingCenter.gg for all of your Magic the Gathering needs. Like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere. Make sure to follow us. Send us some of those Bezos bucks and subscribe if you would be so inclined. Thank you all so much. We got one more round, like I said, for Alex.
And Lincoln.
Thank you all so much, and we will catch you in the next one. Adios.